World here. It is May 18th, 2020. Come at you with a video. Okay, guys, we're going to start with the Schumann here. And I'm completely convinced that something's going on now. Not that I wasn't thinking that already, but now there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that something is going on. And I really don't think anybody really could even question that something's not going on here. We were getting these spikes, okay? Starting around 15, 1600, 1700, between 16 and 1700, okay? And then day after day, same time, okay? There's 3 days in a row right there, okay? Now, I might be able to accept 3 days in a row, but also this actually looked like it ramped up as it was doing it too. So, what's causing that? Don't know. I got my theories and I got my own ideas, but then we go to the next couple days. Same thing. 16, 1700. Okay, then we get this one. Okay, now I was questioning whether or not this one actually fell in that time frame. So I kind of went and looked at this a little bit deeper, and you can tell how these are two separate spikes, okay? Because you have that middle area right there that it stops, and then it restarts another spike. So if you follow this spike on down, guess where it falls? 16, 1700. Okay. Here's today's. There's 2 more days in a row. So we're looking at 8 or 9 days, guys, that we're having spikes at the exact same time. There is absolutely no way that that's a natural occurrence. The only way in my mind that could actually be a natural occurrence, it would have to be something to do with the rotational position of the Earth, because we're in the same spot every day. So the tool that's over here in Russia, maybe it's seeing something every day there. But we have to keep in mind that this is an average of a bunch of stations together. And then that's what they plot a point here. So this ain't just one location. They're taking readings from multiple locations and creating an average. And that's what we're seeing right here. So, this is such a polarized conversation, which is why I don't get too much concerned with giving my opinion on what's causing this. I'm just going to simply show you the observation and let you guys make up your mind on what you think's causing it. I'm willing to hear anybody's theory on it. I got my own, opinions and stuff, but if I put that out there, everybody's going to be offended. Somebody somewhere there, and I don't really care if people get offended, because I have the right to my opinion also. But I also want to be respectful, because I know that this is such a polarized conversation. And there's such strong feelings on this. And that's why I don't go down that road, because frankly, my opinion really doesn't matter in this situation. I'm showing you the observation, and I still can't say 100% what's causing it. Particle colliders, influence from space. We've talked about aliens and stuff, maybe trying to communicate, all this other kind of stuff, right? So there's so many different theories, and that's why I don't touch it, because there's no way for me to say 100% that one or the other is correct. That's why I don't. I've been asked to give my opinion and stuff, but that's why I don't on this particular subject. It's not because I don't want to put my opinion out there, or I'm afraid to, offend somebody. If I think I'm right, I'm going to tell you I'm right, even if it offends people, okay? I think everybody should operate like that. That's the only way we get to the truth, but I'm not 100% if I'm right on my theories on this, so that's why I don't speak on it. Anyway, we're going to move on. Okay, guys, I got you over here at SDO, and I just want to show you guys this again, okay, because we have to keep an eye on this. We really do. And what I'm talking about are these bright active areas. Now, these are not sunspots, and this is what I was talking about, because we couldn't tell until they became Earth-facing, and we were able to see what was underneath these things, okay? The cores have to be at a certain level, and they have to be technically the correct way for them to designate them a sunspot. So right now, they're officially like what they would call a coronal prominence, which is essentially it's just an active area on the sun, other than the areas around it. Now, what I would say is that even though these aren't complete sunspots, these are still very active, especially this one. This one here, guys, we're going to have to watch this one close. Because this thing, at any second, it's just, yeah, it's very active. Now, they do, both of these little spots here, they do seem to be dying off a little bit. Now, whether that trend continues, I have to say that we've seen sunspots emerge in 6 hours, or even less. And so we've also seen them decay that fast. So that's how unpredictable this stuff is. But this one's a little bit smaller down here on the bottom. But it doesn't mean that it still can't do things. Because it will. It already is. It's not doing huge things, but we're still seeing stuff from it. This will definitely raise the solar flux, which it already has. Especially when we got two areas at the same time. So, you know, and that solar flux actually helps with radio propagation. Emergency vehicles use that to kind of communicate, stuff like that. It's good for those guys. Also, auroras will get a little bit more intense around like solar storms and stuff. So the more solar energy we have, the auroras, you know, it's kind of cool to see that kind of stuff. And the bigger, the more that we get, they come down closer to the equator, what they would call mid-latitudes, and we're able to see them more often. And there's beautiful pictures of this stuff. And there's a lot of, we can learn a lot from the auroras too. So that's why we kind of talk about it. But as you can see here, also, like, watch this right in here. See that? Do you guys see that? Watch. I'll let you guys see it again. There is no sunspot here. This is what I'm trying to tell people, because you don't have to have a sunspot to have activity. Watch what happens. See that little moving around there a little bit? I talked about that yesterday. Now what? See that? Boom. Something popped off there. Now, that happened at the end of that time lapse, so I don't know if that's coming at us or not. It didn't look to. It looked like it was going to go off that way, right? But, you know, that's perfect example of stuff that can happen outside of sunspots. So, even though there's not sunspots, does not mean that we should not be looking at the sun. Because it does happen, and it will continue to happen outside of that. Now, did you guys... I want you guys to watch that real close. Okay, you see all that movement? Now watch it again as it comes through here. Let me put a bigger circle on it. But it's going to be right in here. It's going to get like a little hazy and kind of vibrate looking. Watch. See that? And now watch what it does after that. Bam. Okay? That was fast. That sucker blew off there quick. Now I don't know how big that was. I don't know how strong it was. But it came off there with a quickness. Now you can tell as this one kind of comes off into Earth facing, you can actually kind of see this one starting to decay a little bit. It seemed to be a little bit stronger, but it does look like it might be falling off. Now, you know, there's good and bad to these things getting stronger. Okay? What I do want to do though, I want to show you guys something here real quick. Okay, what I want to show you is that the difference between a solar maximum, and I showed you guys this already before multiple times, but this is a good time to talk about it, okay? As you can see here, this is last year. This is what the sun looked like. You go back 4 years, that's what it looked like during the peak of the solar cycle. That's what we're going to be looking at here in the next couple years. So, and we will slowly ramp up, but it does seem like we're ramping up quicker than what we normally do. So we'll have to see if that trend continues. Now you can see, guys, I mean, it's a pretty obvious difference there. That's from the exact same camera, exact same satellite. Everything's the same except for the activity on the sun. You can see how much brighter it is. You can just see all the sunspots. Okay? And I just picked one day is all I did. These are on the same day. So, same day, just what, 4 or 5 years apart there? So, you know, and I like to show people this because it does give you a good idea of what solar maximum and the difference between solar maximum and solar minimum. But what I want to say is the picture here on the top can fire a CME just as big as this picture on the bottom. It's just the chances of that one on the top doing it are so much lower than what we have here on the bottom. So anyway, we'll move on. All right, guys, I got you over at USGS, and we had a decent sized earthquake off the coast of California here. It was early this morning. If you can see it right here, 5.5. All right, it lit up in blue on the map on the right. Okay, I guess I could scroll that over and we can zoom in. Now, I know everybody's thinking Cascadia subduction zone. Yes, it's in that area. We get that. It did not cause any kind of tsunami or anything like that. The Cascadia zone did not completely slip or anything, so there's no danger there right now. But we've been seeing some strange earthquakes, okay? Remember the one last week when we seen the one here in Nevada? Okay? Now we're still seeing earthquakes there constantly. Okay? This is just from today. Look, everything I'm showing you here is Nevada. It's because of the bigger one, you know, we had last week. You know, there was that one I just showed you off the coast of California. If we scroll over here, you'll see them pop into view here. But most of them that we're seeing right now actually are from, you know, that one in California. Or the one in Nevada, California border. There was no damage done on that one, but listen, that was the biggest one we had in that area in years. So, but what's more kind of compelling right now is the fact that we're seeing tons of aftershocks, or even another individual earthquakes after the fact here. Okay, so it's not stopping. It's very much like Ridgecrest last year. You guys remember the Ridgecrest earthquake? And after that, man, I mean, it really just went crazy. Bunches and bunches of smaller quakes. I call them small, but some of them were up in the 5s. So, and then there was one over here too that I seen last night. I'm not sure if it's still there. Yep, look at this. It's in Sweden. There are no fault lines around there, guys. No major ones. Look. Okay, and that one ended up coming in at a 4.9. It was probably over a 5 when it first popped off, but these guys always downgrade things. But that's in a very odd place, okay, I have to say. That's not a place that we typically see earthquakes, especially of that magnitude. We got one down here, that's a 4.4. And there's all kinds of them going on, okay? That stuff hasn't stopped, obviously. We're going to continue to see that, guys. It's just going to continue. So, anyway, that one was kind of weird up there in Sweden. I wanted to show you that one and the one off the coast of California. It's just things we got to keep an eye on, you know. And we always got to keep an eye on now on that Nevada area because of just constant shaking now. In some ways, that's actually good, guys, because it's actually releasing some of that pressure. If we went straight from a big quake and then to nothing, that would mean that we would really be watching close, because you're waiting for another big one after that, because nothing's moving, nothing's getting released, and when it finally does release, that's when the big ones happen. So, okay, guys, this is the geoelectric model. This is a fairly new model. It's about a year old now. But what this is showing you is solar weather and its chances of affecting our electrical grid, or unnatural electrical components like transformers and wire and everything else. But why I'm showing it to you is this is just another thing to show you that we're having some issues as far as the little small upticks and things going on right now. This may actually have something to do with those sunspots sending us extra energy. Okay, we don't typically see this kind of brightness that's hanging around. Usually it's that deeper color of blue that you see there in the background. You know, this isn't nothing to write home about. Let me tell you that straight up. We caught one, I don't know, a few months back that was into the purples. Even some of it was into the white. I did notice a few days in a row, and I didn't show it to you guys because nothing really happened, but there was some like spiking going on right here in this area. It actually got to be yellow and orange just for a second. It was only there for like 2 or 3 minutes and it was gone. We see that sometimes, but this is constant activity here. You know, do I think we're going to have issues with our grid? No, I don't. Unless something changes here. Obviously, if we get a flare or something, we're going to see that thing, you know, jump around pretty good. But, yeah, guys. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I may come back with another video later on. Again, guys, keep everybody in your prayers. Marv and Scott and all his situations going on and all that. And, again, thank you guys so much for being who you are. Yeah. I do want to say something, though, okay? And I know this isn't something I typically do. But I would like to say this. That somebody made a comment, and I can show you the comment and block out the name. I don't want to call anybody out. That's why I'm not doing that. Because it's not productive when you do that, especially in this situation. They were like, "Why, you know, please read your comment." They were trying to correct me on a time that I was given for the Schumann, okay? And if I misspoke, I misspoke. I made a mistake. But they were insinuating in the comment that I wasn't reading the comments. Let me tell you guys something. I do my best to read everyone. I may not respond to everyone, but this is not my job. Okay, I have a family, and I've explained this before. I shouldn't have to explain this anymore. I shouldn't have to really explain it at all. Because if you really want to be down to it, I mean, this is my channel, guys. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. I know it sounds bad when people say it like that. I don't mean it like that as far as being, hateful and stuff. But I do this. I don't monetize. I make no money from this. This costs me money, matter of fact. I just think it's important to try to spread this around. Okay? So when I see comments like that insinuating that, I'm not paying attention, please read your comment because I'm correcting you on this and that and this. And that kind of stuff, I just don't need that stuff. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't help me. If you truly want to get me to see your opinion, don't come at me like that because I'm just going to shut down. I don't typically block people because I'm not going to take their voice away. I think everybody should have their own opinion. But allow me to have mine too. And sometimes that gets taken from those of us that do channels. Because, we're held to a little bit of a higher standard than somebody that's just leaving a comment. And rightfully so. We're talking to a bunch of different people. You guys are all listening to me. And I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, I have to be able to draw a line somewhere and say, hey, it's time for me to spend time with my family. It's time for me to take care of what I need to take care of here. And that's what goes on, especially through the summer when I'm working more, okay? I apologize if there's those of you out there that think I don't read the comments or get back to you soon enough or any of that kind of stuff. But like I said, guys, this isn't my job. I don't, I do this just because I think it helps. And I do try to get to all the comments. But I just wanted to address that. The person that wrote that knows who they are. It doesn't do any good to put the names out there anyway. But, I'm talking to you right now. If you can just have a little bit more understanding of what's actually going on. And, I clicked over to their channel and, they have no content. They're not doing any channels or nothing like that. So it's kind of hard for me to accept your judgment if you're not going to, put yourself out there too and understand what's actually going on. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. So God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.